Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. I know I'm jumping on a few minutes early, but I can't stand just sitting at the computer and, wanted to just get started. I hate time. In the spiritual realm, there is no such thing as time. That's why your soulmate and any type of soul type of connection, you know, there's a knowing. There's just, you know, there's no such thing as time. It transcends all time and space. The language of the universe is really the energy of unconditional love. And we can feel it as claircognizance, clairsentient. Clairsentience is I feel it, but claircognizance is I don't know how I knew, I just knew. So again, when we are in that energy, we're balanced because we again are in alignment with our true energies, which is again unconditional love. The energy of the universe, the energy of God, the energy that connects us to each other, it's empathy. We always feel like when we have spiritual blocks, right? It just feels wrong. Just like sitting in front of the computer and just waiting for the time to pass. Especially when I'm excited, it's like I love to, connect, and I love to talk about the spiritual realm. That's why I love to do these type of readings. If you're new to the channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. I like to look at everything. I look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play it as karmic themes a little bit more. Because the majority of the time, we're connected to a karmic. Every relationship is karmic, actually. It's just the one that we think about that gives us the harsh negative consequences, our past life karmic mate. And that's, someone that you have been connected to for many, many lifetimes. And again, there's that feeling of, I don't know how I know, I just know. There's deja vu's, past life memories. And the whole reason why is because there's a bigger reason to why we're down here. So though I do look, and I will look and see what your person is going to do, what they did do, it's irrelevant really from the universe. The universe says, we want to see whether you know why you attracted this person into your life. We want to know whether or not you're going to transcend the limitations of your mind by quantum jumping into a new reality, because the one that keeps you disempowered or feeling lack, is not your truth. So again, everything in the universe works on a magnetic energy. So it's not that you're a bad person and you attract bad people. It's only two energies, love and fear. And the fear, you're going to see a lot of bad, negative character traits. So again, someone that's shady, someone that again does things from a lower consciousness, which is all about me in survival mode, not someone that's evolved, that's coming from a place of unconditional love. So that's everything that's coming to you in your life and everybody else's life is to help them to become their best self, including the past life karmic mate. But understanding why this person comes into your life allows you to see how you contribute to the imbalances in the connection, which allows you to see where you need healing in your own life. And once you heal by integrating spiritual lesson, you're able to then transmute that negative energy, which you have to fully do. Healing is not a one step. It's an awareness of what's going on and how you're contributing to the imbalances, and then what to do to heal it, to ground that actually new consciousness. So again, you're able to see that within these readings, but you are the alchemist of your life. Meaning you're going to have to apply the knowledge, because there's many different realities that play it at one time. And if you're stuck in a limited perception that's creating fear, which is I don't have enough, that might be within your finances, or it's not like there's a lack, something that again brings you to a place of feeling inferior, feeling again out of alignment with your true self, which is something powerful. again, it's the energy of the universe. It's the energy of God. It's the energy of the, like I said, consciousness is where a lot of times we're not living from that perception. We're living from perception of an experience that we went through, and we're stuck in that perception, and we don't understand why. And understand it's the habits and behaviorisms that you created from those experiences. So, like I said, you are the alchemist of your life. You have to actually, a lot of times, integrate spiritual lessons by yourself, and that's by healing your nervous system and other things when it's severe trauma. However, to see a different version of yourself, well, you can take this advice a lot of times and apply it, ground it, do something different, gets a different outcome. It's just that simple. Now, anything of any importance or relevance in the channel, you can find in the description box, including the word of the video. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. Is the underlying energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Important when you're dealing with someone that creates, facades, illusions, wear masks, where you're like, I can feel whatever you're doing is a lie. It's like, I know that it's a lie. I know that you're not really, like, you're hiding. And as soulmate twin flames have that energy, it's, again, can't hide from that energy. You can tell when a person's near you, and you can tell when they're checked out. You can tell when they're angry. There's a knowing. You don't know how you know, you just know. So on every single spiritual relationship, awareness. Okay. And also I wanted to mention, if you're in need of shadow coaching or life coaching, the link to that is also going to be in the description box. I'm not going to get into everything it does, but it's an awesome coaching program. It's not just shadow healing and life coaching, but psychic development, because we're all psychic. And the new world is going to require you to integrate that energy. It's, again, ESP is just one, and it not supposed to just happen with a soulmate. Really, we have that power to do it, to be able to do it, to be able to heal ourselves, to be able to, when you raise consciousness, there's gifts that go along with that. All right, the word of the video is past life. See, I knew it was a karmic. I friggin' knew it. It's like past life karmic mate. It's like the ones that they confuse us. We think that they're twin flames. Well, twin flames are actually also a past life karmic mate. And understand, they always have the opportunity to step it up in this lifetime to become the twin flame if they're just like a past life karmic mate. Because it's like you incarnated on many, many lifetimes to learn certain things. It's that the karmic consequences happen to get worse and worse and worse. And that could be, you lose all your money. You're not able to see your kids. Like, they prevented you from getting the job of your dreams. There's some sort of karmic consequence. So again, that's what we can associate past life. So the problem with this is it's like, I have intense connection to you. It's like, I have an intense connection to you. It's like, I desire you. It's like, I have feelings. Both parties feel that. There's unconditional love there, especially when you're in separation. It's like, doesn't matter. There's no time, space. And one of the lessons of a past life karmic mate that they learn is unconditional love. Both parties grew up in environments where they were taught that love was conditional. And that was done unconsciously by the parents. Didn't get good grades? Well, off to your room. No dinner for you. No, not watching the movie. No, you can't go out. And I'm actually pissed off because of that mark that you got there. I'm going to take my love away from you now. It's like, our parents did that. So it was just their way. They weren't taught, but nevertheless, they also watched that within how their parents treated each other, which is usually not a good relationship. Expectations, ownership, they collectively what the environment told them they should be. You should do this, you should do that, stay home, have kids, live this life, buy this house by this time, like trying to keep up with the Joneses. We heard about that, right? It's again, that was the generation back then. So conditional. If we don't have that, well, then I'm angry, I'm disappointed, I'm not. So we don't think that that does damage, but Spirit says it did damage, because again, love was conditional. Not all the time does the person grow up in abuse. Sometimes it's just that thought pattern, which parents are like, well, we did the best that we could do. Like, we wanted you to go to school and get good grades. We had the best intention for you. And God says, that's a pass. I only look at intention. It's like, if the intention it came from a place of love, it's a pass. However, it still created blocks. So past life karmic mates have lessons to learn, and there's going to be an intense connection where they can't manipulate it. They can't break it. They can't, and they're going to test that on every level, because it's like, you piss me off. I don't really want to deal with you because you're triggering me the way that you're acting. So I don't even want to have this relationship. Get it off me. And then what happens is, it's like, okay, well, it's still here. It's like, it's still here. It's still here. It's like, it still feel that way, because Spirit says, yeah, because love's not a condition that you put on it. You can't control it. No expectation, no ownership. You don't know what it means yet. This is like 985 lifetimes you guys incarnated. How many lifetimes are we going to have to do this? Let's look at the underlying energy to see actually if we've learned anything, or if we're still in a place of lack. Oh, well, look at this. Wisdom, again, where Spirit's saying, oh, both parties are starting to learn. Look at that. In separation for a long time, they exhausted themselves. They got to the point, of not wanting to deal with it, and then wanting to, realizing they couldn't ruin the connection. Look at that. The Spirit says, well, I knew eventually. It's again, but the disappointment now is also because now this person is looking and saying, well, this was a connection, and I'm in separation. And I feel like you're also like, well, I'm disappointed too, because I really thought that you were gonna, like, it was gonna look a lot different than what it looks like, like I thought, like that intense connection. And Spirit says, expectation, again, ownership. And then to the point that both parties are saying, are you sure that this is my person? This doesn't really seem like my person. No, that's got to be a problem. This one came defective. Can I get another? And Spirit's like, no, that's the right one. It's like, it doesn't seem to be the right one. Spirit says, no, that's the right one. It's like, that's why you can't shut the feelings off. That's why this person can't. But you're disappointed. So you're holding on to a cognitive dissonance. You want the connection, but you don't. And this person wants the connection, but they don't, because they're angry. Both ego is a little angry. We have to come to a place of surrender. We have to come to a place where we are, again, regain our spiritual equilibrium. And we do that when we, again, let go. So let's see what actually happened, to the point that everyone's in an uproar now. Spirit says they were self-righteous. Like, I feel like they weren't like compassionate to your needs. They were, if anything, if you like explain to this person what you wanted, or like they would downplay it, they would belittle you, they were judging you, acting like, again, self-righteous actually is like a fake type of confidence almost. To the and like refuse to see that the relationship was really like not going anywhere, or or that it was actually, if anything, going downhill, like the connection, it was like ruining the connection, like they refused to see the decline in it, what they were doing. And they could just buy it. So what they did was they just thought that they would keep it up in the air because they didn't really know what they wanted at the time, is what I'm feeling like. So it's like, it's not like this person was like, I think that they didn't think that it was going to decline to the point that it did. It's like, I think that they thought that they could be act cocky and self-righteous and that you were going to still kind of hold on, which I don't know why people tend to do it. Again, this person was manipulative. Why were they manipulative, though? It's like, especially if they knew that this was a divine connection, that's pretty stupid. I mean, it's like, yeah, they kept you alone. Like it's like, was like being alone. And then it's like this person, in order to like be in a relationship, loves to create crazy drama. And it's like, because I feel like this person's just insecure. They didn't know what they wanted. It's just as simple as that. Do I want to be in a connection where I actually have to step it up to give to you, which I don't know whether I could do that because I don't think I've ever done that, or stay in a low vibration and do what I want to do. Well, I kind of want both, is what I'm feeling like here. Which we've been getting that a lot, that story lately, like similar energies, just from different angles. Like where you're like, no, you just felt like, yeah, this person really thought, well, you're part of my destiny. Like it's just going to work out. It's like this person definitely saw you for who you are. They just weren't following their heart. They always saw you. It's like there is an intuitive thing. It's like a knowing that in that higher wisdom, that clairsentient, it's like they just know, and it's like they see signs. They see signs all the time. It's like, and I don't believe that this person's even spiritual. It's like there's just a knowing, and so they always knew. But I feel like they almost like were like, it doesn't matter. I don't really need to do anything. I feel like also for some that this person's really imbalanced. Like they have dark moods. And so they don't really know what they want because it's almost like they're detached from it, like the feeling. So part of them is like, I want this connection, but I also like, I'm afraid of this connection. And also, I don't think I'm good enough for this connection. And I don't really want to give because you probably reject them after a certain amount of time. So again, what do we see? They kept it up in the air, just wasting time, procrastinating, like where you felt like you're just wasting my time. Like we're going to get together today. Oh yeah. And then the day comes and then this person backs out, or they, again, something comes up. It's like you're just delaying it, like almost not wanting you to go anywhere, but not wanting you to give you anything, but not because they don't want to give you anything. Almost like overthinking it. Like, how much should I give? Like, where, again, it's bringing up all their insecurity. Instability, like I said, it's bringing up all their like insecurity. And so I feel like this person sees you as someone very stable. And it's like they're feeling like they're not as stable. And so you might be like, but I'm not really that stable. Well, from the perception of from what they see. So it's, again, doesn't need to be real, especially if they're not taking the time to fully get to know you. You know what I mean? To fully emotionally invest in you, because it's like, hey, because I already know this type of connection and it's going to take off like wildfire, like the fires in California. It's going to take off just like that. And then where am I going to be? Then I'm going to feel like maybe I missed out. It's almost like that type of energy. And it's like this person is not stable in themselves. So that's why no matter who it is, it's not going to be enough, because this person doesn't think that they're enough. So if that's where the grass is always greener comes from, The grass is always greener. Why is it always greener somewhere else? Because imagination, because that's your imagination, because it's, again, the grass is greener where you water it, where you tend to it. So it's, again, that this person like doesn't give, but what I'm seeing is an intimacy issue, is that it's like, I want to, but I'm afraid to go so deep. And you might say, why is the person afraid to go so deep? They're afraid to go deep because they got hurt before. I mean, obviously. um I feel like what happens though is this person is also like, they have a lot of a like rage underneath the surface. So, and that's because they haven't healed. And I feel like it brings you to a place where, like I said, it's like being in a relationship with nobody. So you would eventually, like, obviously get very angry being with this person and triggered. This person almost likes that. And it's because they're not emotionally transparent. So it's like, oh, that you're angry and we have this connection, so you're still going to hold on to me. So, which is, again, lower energy, almost like, like trying to keep you, like, if your life all of a sudden gets better, like all of a sudden, like job, something happens in your life, this person would actually be so triggered by it, because it's like they're staying stuck, just wasting time, not making a decision. And so it's like, why would they do it? Well, clearly they want you to do something, or again, figure that somebody eventually does it. But the problem is, if you're the one that does it, they don't emotionally open up their heart. And this is what you know, frozen heart. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you already know that. So you're like, I'm not going to give to you. It's like you have to give to me. It's like this person has created too many barriers for a true connection. And that's what you believe. That's what you believe, because you're like, you're not, it's like, yeah, you want me, but you don't want me. It's like, I don't want to be in a relationship that feels empty, that isn't that way. And it's like, well, no, I just haven't had the time. Well, you've made sure not to have the time, is what I see. It's like this person, again, like, is not realistic. Okay, they're not realistic. And it's like they have a lot of wishful thinking that this connection will be, but it's, they have wounds in relationships, clearly, because they have a frozen heart. They created too many walls, like I said. So it's almost like they don't do anything. And if they're psychically giving you the energy like they're interested, and they're telling you that they're interested, but then you're not seeing anything. Well, eventually the person that's with them is going to do everything if they want to stay in a connection, because they'll say, oh, that they're just not good at it. People make excuses. But the problem is that then this person doesn't grow enough of an emotional connection. And that's the thing. There already is an emotional connection with you and this person, not because they put any energy into it. It's because it doesn't logically make sense. It's because it's from past lives. It's because it's, again, that's that energy of, I just feel like I know you from somewhere. It's like, well, you do. It's from past lives. And it's, there is an emotional connection that terrifies this person. It would be easier if it was just on the surface, because then, after I'm done with you, I can just get rid of you. It's like, well, otherwise I might lose myself in you. Like, where it's, again, though they're not going to show you that. Where, like you said, you feel like, well, the problem with this whole connection is that your idea of love and intimacy looks a lot different than mine, because that you love me and I know that you love me, but you're not giving me anything like you're giving me like emotional, like you're not giving me anything emotional. You're giving me sex, so you're giving me passion, and maybe you're helping me out like with money or buying stuff or doing like nice deeds and stuff like that, but you're not building emotional intimacy with me. And so there's a sense of like always feeling like, well, then do you have one foot out the back door? Where it's like, no, this person, like, this is like, they have to move real slow with that. It's again, otherwise you feel like I don't trust you. And I don't trust you because you're not building it with me, where this is this person's problem. It's like everyone thinks that they're a player, and I feel like so for a while this person then did that, were the player, because it's feeling better than feeling inadequate. It's like, well, then that's my identity, then that feels real to me. No one's born a player. It's like girl, guy, nobody. It's like doesn't matter. It's like that's a persona, and that's for the lack that you feel because it's inadequate. And this connection is like a red buzzer. Always, that game Operation where you put the thing and the guy's nose is like rant, rant. Well, it's almost like every time this person like thinks about you, it makes them dive deep. This is not a surface relationship. This is one that it's again that it makes this person. So they're sitting here and they're like wasting a lot of time. And so now I feel like they wasted so much time, like I said, in like holding back, that now they're going to be like, well, it's a missed chance. Like they have like, they're afraid that it's going to be a missed chance. They feel the clock is ticking is what I'm getting at. And it's like, they don't want to have regrets. It's like, they don't want that. However, they're seeing you're not doing anything. They're seeing that you're not doing anything, and they're finally getting the message. Hey, if you don't do anything, I'm not going to do anything. It's up to you. You got to do all the work here, because it got come to a point where with that, and that this person is like, again, it's bringing up all their past trauma. What I just said. It's like, and this is so they're actually having to heal themselves before come to you. So you might be like, what's taking this person so long? They're not doing anything. They actually are doing stuff. It's just you're not seeing it because it's shadow work. It's like they don't want to do shadow work. This is not what this person agreed to do. It's that, the universe has brought you into their life and you hold to a certain standard, and at this point you're like, this isn't going to work. But this person is like, doesn't really know why the relationship sabotaged itself because they were not really aware. But, understanding, having feelings for somebody and then feeling like they were right there and losing them and them not talking to you at all. This person's never felt this before. They don't normally have feelings. They usually can shut it off. There's a knowing that you're supposed to be with this person. That's what that higher wisdom is. It's like I knew who you were. It's like, and that spirit saying, yeah, like this is fragmented. This person's fragmented, and they're seeing that because they think that they thought that you were the bad person, or that you were holding to a certain standard that wasn't realistic, where really this person is like, no, part of the reason why they like you is that you hold to that standard. That's the irony, is that do they think that they can do it? This person, again, needs to take time out to be like, to heal, to figure it out. So it's not like this person, you're like, they've cut their energy off of me. They're not talking to me. Yeah, that's right. They're not. Because they can't come back the same way that they've come. They've held out for too long. They've wasted too much time. They've kept it up in the air for too long. They know that they took it to the extreme. So they're going to come back. They got to come back correct. And the thing is, they know that they're not there. From whatever experiences that this person has come to you with, and that's their inner child healing. They could be 50, 60, 70 years old, never did any healing, and then the karmic themes that played out from those inner childhood wounds, and then their ego has to come down. Like, it's a process. And so it's actually good. They're actually further along in their process because they're saying, you know what, I need to, before I jump into a connection with you, I need to take some time by myself. That's what this where this person is, because it's like they're confused, and they're not confused. They know how they feel about you. They know who you are, but they also know everything that they did, that they wasted time, that they held back, that they just wanted to kind of like see what it was like other places, to make sure that like you're their person. You show up in my dreams. It helps me to process buried memories. So even if this person's trying not to think about you, it's a past life connection. It's like you're gonna show up in their dreams. It's like there's gonna be signs. When I look into your eyes, I see the universe and it activates me. I don't know if they really say that. I think it's more like if I stand near you, I have butterflies in my stomach and I actually can feel something, because I'm normally disassociated and detached. So I normally don't have any feeling because I'm usually strategizing. But now that I have feelings, I don't really know what to do with these feelings. It's more like that, not that I look into your eyes and it activates me. No, that might be happening though. That again, but I don't think that that's what they're saying. Is what I'm getting at. Um, I know this is more than a relationship, and that there is a higher purpose to our connection. So it's again, yeah, to heal is what Spirit's saying. It's like this person has to step it up in order to be like a twin flame. They are still a past life karmic mate until they again figure it out and integrate these shards. You know, that's what it's going to require for this person to be a twin flame. Now, mind you, sometimes we can't heal all of it on our own. So, in a certain stage within your healing, Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, brings in your soulmate twin flame, because says, okay, now you're ready, but you're still not healed 100%. But part of your healing is that you're going to teach and be there and hold space for this person that's wounded and all the places that you're gifted in, and vice versa. And you're going to learn compassion. You're going to learn what unconditional love. You're going to learn forgiveness. You're going to learn, again, all the higher levels of consciousness through doing. Because, again, you guys weren't shown that. That's not, again, it was conditional. Love was conditional. Does that mean that you're going to like how this person does things? No, you're going to be annoyed. You're going to be like, who the hell does things that way? Oh, my God. And the Spirit says unconditional. It means like with a child, you treat this relationship almost like a child, where like that you allow that person to have their process without judgments, without expectation. It's like, because again, otherwise they just wind up back in like the same type of karmic theme that they grew up in, which is, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like who you are. It needs to look like this. You need to act like this way. It needs to be done, where that's not allowing the person their unfolding process. Unconditional love means that you get to a place after a while where you're like, I don't like anything that they do. But you know what? I'm not around to watch how it's done. But I don't give a fuck how it's done. It just make sure that you do it. Just make sure you do it. Because again, and I don't watch, because I'm going to judge. It's like, and I can't help that. It's like, and they just do it. And then what you realize is, it's like, you learn not to control, because really the fear is what makes us control. And so this connection has the potential to trigger both parties to fear. And then how they react to fear is usually how they self-sabotage the connection, where it's again, soulmate twin flame makes you think twice about it. It's like, because it's like there's a lot of passion there, there's a lot of caring there. So again, you're in your old patterns but can't see it. So this person again still struggles. Again, and so that really the twin flame connection is not easy, because the person's fragmented, and all their patterns are going to come up, and their patterns of how they dealt with stress, how they avoidant usually, it could be addictions, could be a lot of other things that are shadows where spirit's like, all this needs to go. If you want to be with this person, all that needs to go. And that's what this person knows. And it's like they have to come in correct. You know, just like you, I'm always doing some form of mission. My energy and wisdom supports those around me. So this person cares a lot about, helping their community, being seen a certain way. That's really important to this person. And it's possibly because of the way that they were brought up, again, how they feel about themselves. So they try to make themselves feel better. And obviously, being connected to someone that does the same makes them look better too. So it's again, so they see a common interest. This person does struggle with codependency. So understand that. And that's really, it's like they're afraid, says, I'm struggling with codependency. They're afraid to let go of their old coping mechanisms. And that's what I'm saying. That's what will happen. It's like, again, Spirit saying, well, in order for you to pass the toll, to get to this person, to be with this person, you have to be healed. And again, the codependency, like I said, the addictions, you'll notice that you'll see avoidance, you'll see other things. And that's why the healing process takes so much longer for some people, because it's like they get stuck in grief, they get stuck in victimization, they get stuck in, it's like, again, you're not the things that you did. However, instead of, get stuck in grief of what happened, it's about becoming a better person. This person tends to get stuck in what they did. And that's why, again, they get stuck with, their coping mechanisms. And the coping mechanisms could be like, I talk to a lot of different people too, because my ego is suffering. I'm in a place of fear. Again, that reptilian mind. So it's going to tell me like the things that I need in order to feel better. And Spirit says, yeah, all that needs to go. Again, you were taught that. You were taught that by your family. You were taught that by your friends, and you just came up with it by yourself. But none of that, again, keeps you in your true self, your higher self. Keeps you in a low energy. So this is what takes a long time. I'm looking for a way so I can be free. So this person is like, again, trying to like look like their inner child was wounded when their parents couldn't respond to them in a way that they needed them to. They react from that wound. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. I don't know if you can see that. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect condition for our reunion. So like I said, if this is a soulmate twin flame connection, and this person really is working through their stuff, it's like they're taking the time to do it because they know they can't come back in half-assed. They have one more shot at this, and that's what they know. I have one more shot. And if it doesn't work out this time, it's not going to work out at all. So there's a lot of anxiety. This person, like I said, do they know when it's going to happen? No, they have no idea. No one knows when divine time is. It's just when Spirit says, when I feel like you've done enough for your healing on your own. It's again, twin flame connection that's what it happens. In separation, you do the healing. It's again, you think. And so Spirit's saying, it's like you're both not ready. You're both not ready yet. But understand there's be an impatience of, I want this person. And Spirit says, when you're looking at the time again, look, it's taking time. And the Spirit says, you know what? Where's my watch? You're taking so much time for you to get your stuff together. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be focusing on this person. You're supposed to be focusing on yourself so that you can heal, so that you're good enough to be in that type of connection to begin with, because it's not an easy connection. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to be able to. No, you have to, be somewhat emotionally intelligent because you're going to be triggered. It's like it's going to require you to be different. Spirit says too much yin energy, too much yang energy. It's like everybody has both. It's like, again, there's a deficiency here. So it's going to require you to be different. That's what these connections do. They change you. And it changes you because, hey, there's certain things that make you seem imbalanced that, you're going to have a hard time manifesting. Spirit saying it's keeping you stuck in that same thought pattern. And it's rooted in this. So the universe has to conspire ways to help you understand what's happening, why. Otherwise, you'd stay in a place of being like, I'm broken, it just doesn't work. I just can't have love. I just can't have. It's conditional unless I do this. And Spirit says, it's not any of that. It's like, and you don't have any control. So you have to come to a place of surrender. I'm beginning to focus on my mission, and our connection is part of that. It's very twin flamey, right? I mean, because the transmutation process is all about the mission. So we can understand and have a new psychological and emotional view of the situation that was making us blocked. This person was blocked. They take time out, but they're reflecting during the time and saying, how would I even be with you? And it's like, well, I'm watching what you're doing, and I could see, like, again, the part that I would play or how I could make it better, how I can make it. It's, again, there's a reason why. And because Spirit says you have to do something with that negative energy. It was a long time of living in those core beliefs. And they create a lot of anger. And look what they manifested: disrespect, pain, love has conditions, a lot of that. What do you think will happen to that angry energy? Oh, did you think it was gone? Oh no, you're still holding on to that. Your cells and everything are still holding on to that. The experience is over though. Spirit says, but did you see a different outcome of it? No, I didn't see a different outcome. I just don't think about it anymore. And Spirit says, oh, so you just suppressed it. It's like, but it's still there. Spirit says, just because you choose not to look at it, you have to channel that negative energy. Passion is one way of transmutation for the soulmate twin flame. It's like, again, that's part of it, but it's, again, creation is another part. It has to be grounded. How are you going to embody the new consciousness? How are you going to learn about compromise, being vulnerable? How do you think you guys are just going to volunteer to do that? Spirit says, no, it's going to be the mission. The focus isn't on your imperfections. It's you learn to be compassion because the focus is on what we're doing, what we're creating. So Spirit says, my hand is involved in this connection. That's why divine time. And Spirit says, and believe me, the time isn't now, is Spirit saying. So again, the mission is the transmutation. So this person is, again, we see very logical, very analytical, meaning if they're going to be in your life, you're not just going to look good. It's like they actually feel like there's something to it. And this is not a spiritual person. They're more of a business person. So of course they would be like, I see what you're doing. And I probably also see how I could probably help you because, you're probably not making a lot of money doing what you're doing. And I could see how you can make more money to do what you're doing, to like create. I can see how we could make it better because this person's all about the bones. They're the root chakra, too survival, too much masculine energy, so too much fire. So again, too much yin energy is you, creative energy. It's like you can create in your mind. This person creates the bones to create it in the physical realm. So the two together, fire and ice, transmutation happens. It's like, and through that, the change, but only if there's real passion and love. And that's the only thing that can break people out of addiction sometimes, or just their old patterns. Because Spirit says, well, you can't just get rid of that. It's like, that's why they say to like quit smoking. People then take up knitting, or they take up like sucking on a lollipop. They do something in return, Spirit says, so you'll understand why that energy needs to be, now channeled. But there's old wounds here. You can't do it alone. So that's why the twin flame connection. But it's because it's been like 789 lifetimes together. You both incarnated both. And again, didn't do so well in any of these lifetimes. But you both got to finally a point, like evolved enough. It's like it's not failing anymore. Where it used to be an F. Now you guys are about like, it's about like a C. Not really that great, but it's doable. It's doable. Could be a little bit better, but it's doable. And Spirit says, so we start where we are. And again, we make the universe conspires to make that happen. Both have intuition, seeing clearly the ESP connection. Again, this is what it is, that inner knowing. It leads you both. Spirit says, that's me inside of both of you. It's like, again, because you both don't know what you're doing. So I have to do this because it's like you've been coming from half selves, can't be only creative and never have your feet on the ground. You'll be poor. Why do you think the money just grows on trees? And this person, they're so boring, and relationships never work out because they're too much like that, boring and structure, to a point that, they have to have addictions and other things in order to give some sort of passion and fun in their life. That's out of alignment, straight across the board. And understand they're not emotionally intelligent. They have a hard time. It's like, this is a real deep connection. These feelings overwhelm them. They become afraid. Sometimes they run away even because of it. So, like it's a slow moving. So you may be like, I'm the most impatient person. Spirit says, that's why I brought you the turtle. How do you think you integrate, the spiritual like consciousness? It's like you have to learn, and you're not going to learn unless there's unconditional love there. Meaning like you're going to learn to do something in the time that this person is that slow. And usually it's, integrating more of that masculine energy of trying to build a lot, like your finances or like some sort of structure in your life. I'm trying to understand how my thoughts create my reality. I know I need to stay positive, or you. So it's like, again, finally for the first time. And that this is this person too. They're like, no, it's actually me this whole time that my thoughts are creating my reality. I didn't realize that the whole time. And they're not like not a smart person, but they're not a spiritual person. So it's like, never paid attention before. It's like, well, guess what? With the soulmate twin flame connected, you're going to pay attention. Otherwise, you're going to have fireworks. We are the alchemists. We transform fear into light and shadow into light. And that's what Spirit says. It's like you come to a place both within your evolution that it's time to alchemize those spiritual blocks. It's like to understand that there's a bigger reason to why you're down there in the physical plane. You're supposed to be the expression of love by giving and receiving of love, by doing what you love. You're all blocked up. Again, thinking that love's conditional, that it needs to look a certain way, that you try and put it this way because you're trying to be safe. Well, this person's trying to be safe and they're trying to do, and a lot of triggering goes on, and it's unnecessary. But that's what spiritual blocks do. So that's why, like said, Spirit says, oh, it's not like this person's 100% ready. We see them like confused about the relationship, but we know inevitably that they're finally moving out of a place of like, when your energy was stagnant, that they would deliberately try and argue with you instead of have a conversation. This person is actually getting to a place saying, if I'm coming back in, I got to come in correct. I can't do it the way that I have been doing it was like, again, this low energy, um, and for them expecting you to like give them energy to feel safe. They know that they have to get to a place on their own, which is usually if a person has spiritual issues, they're not as emotionally intelligent. They're not strong within themselves. They're going to be codependent because they're not good with people, not because they're not good with business and numbers and money and all that. They're great with that. It's people, but the people make them feel inadequate. And that's the issue. They have a hard time connecting like that on an intimate level. So again, this connection terrifies them because, hey, the soulmate twin flame connection, you can't run from this. You're gonna feel it. It's like this person has feelings that they never felt before, but understand it's gonna trigger the hell out of you because you're like, I am a spiritual person. I need that emotional connection, and I am with somebody that's emotionally handicapped. They are like, literally like emotionally, they have a lobotomy in that area where it's like this person, like, instead of dealing with it, they lash out, they get triggered. It's again because of their own inadequacy, and it makes them feel powerless. So and then sometimes you feel like you think that they're being like a bad guy when it's not really that they're being a bad guy. It's just they have a hard time like with that. So it's going to take patience. We'll see what are you supposed to learn from this connection? Because again, soulmate twin flame connection, just because we see that there are gifts, yeah, but what did you need to transmute? What needed to be healed? And it's usually what you're supposed to be doing in separation, a lot of it, or you get to discover something when you were in separation about yourself. Again, that allows you to see yourself a little bit differently. So let's see what it is. Abuse. These are the inner child wound cards. So unfortunately, when we have spiritual wounds, they play out as karmic themes throughout our relationships and through other areas of life. So this energy is negative energy. It's psychological abuse. It's emotional abuse. And this girl actually looks physically abused. So we know if we were brought up in an environment where we were abused, that we're not coming from our true self. We're going to be coming from a place of fear and survival automatically. So we're going to require less. We're going to ask for less. We're going to be afraid to like speak our truth. We're going to not really have strong boundaries a lot of times. Again, because our survival is linked to the environment. That's the perception when you're a kid. It's not that it's true, but you can condition yourself to live that way. And so instead of, being authentic and true, where I feel like that's kind of the person that you're connected to has that issue too, where not uncommon, twin flame relationship actually did grow up in the same type of environments. That's the irony. They're opposite, but they grew up in the same type of environment. They learned how to survive differently. That's why their gifts are different. So again, the abuse, where again, friendship, where I feel like you escaped through your friends, where I feel like this person didn't have any friends. It's like that this person was smart. They went fishing, or they went boating, or they played by themselves mainly and read books and did stuff like that to escape, build stuff. And it doesn't mean that they were a guy. It's just they were more grounded in their approach, where you were like, I'm going to go to my friend's house. I'm not going to be around for this abuse, like whatever it is. I don't want to sit here and get screamed at. I'm going to go to my friends. I'm going to like just avoid it through being social in other areas. So there was no anchor. So again, we see like a father and a kid, and so that support is, you didn't have that support. You relied a lot on your friends. So again, there was a little bit of like too much of not creating yourself, because again, the comfort came from, things that you do with your friends, not creating yourself. And so life was frustrating. And I feel like it was also like that energy, like life was hard. And that would be because, again, being brought up in an environment where you were abused, where you felt like you had no support. It's that you have to figure everything out on your own. And you're coming from that survival mind, it becomes difficult to logic, like, and you're actually tired a lot of times because of, emotionally being exhausted by trying to figure things out. So I think life is just difficult in that area. And when that's obviously, like, if you're always angry, you're not in a good energy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, abandonment. So again, that lack of support. So again, doesn't necessarily mean that the person left, but psychologically, emotionally wasn't there for you. Again, which obviously, if they were abusive, then they wouldn't be. So you would be seen and feel like I wasn't really loved. I didn't really feel like I connected well with my family. Then we don't have as much roots. But we see with the person that you're connected to, they got plenty of roots to go around. None of their higher chakras are open though. No, they're blind. They're blind. And they have, like, their heart is blocked, where it's like you don't have that problem. But Spirit says that, yeah, but you don't, not your feet aren't on the ground. It's like you're up in the air. It's like you're in the spiritual realm. I need you to come back down to earth. So I'm gotta give somebody that has different energy. It's, again, lies and secrecy, growing up where you couldn't be transparent. You couldn't, because, and you also had to hide what was going on. And that would happen if you were abused. No one's going in and advertising that. It's embarrassing. You're going to, and even if you did, a lot of times back then they didn't do anything about it. So it was more like you had to, like, live the lie. And that meant everything that you did was, based on what this parent or these parents were going to do. It's like, what were there going to be consequences as a child? This is how it becomes. So you become, like, more like strategizing. You're not living, like, intuitively, but you are basing, like, your survival intuitively, but you're also strategizing at the same time a lot. And Spirit says, so you're not creating yourself during those times, because your survival was based on getting along with that environment, making sure that you weren't going to get hit, making sure that you weren't going to, like, be berated, like your survival. Self-love, again, because there wasn't love. That's what it felt like. It said, because there was abandonment. So you were taught not to love yourself. So the Spirit says, well, that's what, the twin flame connection really teaches. In the fact that you love this person, you're loving the wounded parts of yourself. They hold the mirror up to all the wounded parts of yourself. And, you've detached from parts of those, is disassociated. That's why I brought you Broken over here, the IKEA brand. You didn't get the Morgan and Flanagan or whatever the hell the name brand was. You got to put it together yourself, person. And we see here, like, it doesn't look so good sometimes. So Spirit says, because you need to learn. They're going to show you the mirror. And the mirror is, again, sometimes it's like it hurts, it's painful. But Spirit says, but that unconditional love is going to, that person is going to help you through, believe it or not, in ways that you would never even believe. And the passion of it, and the love, and the friendship, when it's good, it's good. It's just, when it's bad, it can be bad. I'm not going to lie. You got to think of all the greats out there, like Tina Turner and, and Ike and Sonny and Cher and all the other twin flames that they made beautiful music. They transmuted that pain. I mean, Cher, we know, was, half Indian and berated from the Indians because she was half white, and vice versa. She was tormented. And she manifested, but she needed the energy of Sunny in the beginning, because she didn't have that. Her roots, the roots weren't there. So, but Sunny had the roots for her, and so, to teach self-love, to teach to hold space, to accept, to allow one to have their process, without judgment, to surrender. And really, that's what Spirit's saying. It's like, but inevitably, it's to love those rejected parts of yourself. That's again because you aren't taught that. And that wouldn't, if you were abandoned by your parent, you would be looking, I want somebody to do it for me. And Spirit says, no one's going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. No, I can't do it for myself because there's all these broken pieces here, you see? And Spirit says, well, I'm going to make you work a little bit on those broken pieces. You got to get up to at least a C level. And then, see, oh God, it's torture. They've been, we believe, 1,000 lifetimes, and they still can't get there up. They finally got to a C. Good enough, Spirit says. Bring in the twin flame to help them transmute it, all this negative energy, and to create, to turn that pain into power, to turn that fear into fire. It's again, and that's what the soulmate twin flame connection is. But what we saw here is a lot of separation because a lot of things are going on internally inside this person. What we see is that, they question the relationship, they understand the relationship, they see now how they can fit into your life, how they can contribute to your life, where before they weren't looking at any of that. So I feel like this person knows, if I'm going to come back, I'm coming back with a plan, because in order for them to build trust, they would have to. So they're just not telling you anything right now. So I feel like when this person comes back, you probably don't even know when they're coming back. I mean, you won't know because it's divine time. So no one knows when that's going to come, but it's usually soon. If you're getting this reading, I would say at least within like 4 to 5 to 6 months. By then you should definitely see something, because with their divine time, the spirit, things usually play out, a lot after, not a lot after, but like a certain amount after, like at least a month or 2 or 3 after. So that's what you notice. And the irony is, when you're dealing with soulmate twin flame, things can loop. So it's like, well, we've been in the same type of situation. We keep going through it. But when there's that big separation where they, again, finally go deep inside of themselves, usually it's not months, it's not years. It's like they're ready. The whole point is that they're thinking, how can I make this work? They're actually putting effort in, something that we've never seen before. So if they're serious and they put effort in, that means that they're usually here for the long haul. So I'm going to leave that there. And in the meantime, you give yourself that self-love, so that when this person comes into your life, you're also showing them how you expect to be treated. Because Spirit would say, well, that wasn't that great either. Like being overly nice to people. So finding yourself and spending more time in doing for yourself. Abandonment, don't abandon yourself. And again, create yourself. And during that time, it's like, again, you'll see yourself different, and then the person will come in, and like I said, it's not going to be an easy connection, but there will be a ton of passion and a ton of love. It's again, and a ton of growing. So I'm going to leave that there. Thank you. And hey, TM, sorry I didn't see you down there. Thank you for joining me today. And tonight, I should say, down here in Florida, Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. So wherever you are, I hope that you're having an amazing day or night. And I will talk to you guys soon.